Hi, Cheryl.
Hi,
How,
Kathy.
how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Good, great, great. Okay, so let's get started. Why don't you tell me when you look at your skin and your face or your neck, show me the areas where you feel like you have some concerns and tell me about like your most immediate concerns and then also maybe your future or long-term
Well,
concerns.
can I tell you first about why I'm here with True Energy? Like you said, I'm in my mid 40s and I'm seeing lines and creases that I didn't want. So I wanted something natural, but I decided to turn to just a national brand name. And I met with a consultant and I was explaining my skin to her saying it's oily and yet it's sensitive. And she asked me what products I was using, and I was using just over-the-counter products. And she said, "Oh, it's just your products." And I'm like, "No, my skin has been like this for years, regardless of what I've used." She's like, "No, no, no, we'll take care of that. We're just going to change your products and your skin will be clear." So after 2 cleansers and 3 different moisturizers, she still couldn't figure out what was wrong with my skin. I was developing little red bumps all over my forehead, around the lines of my face. And she finally had to go to one of their insider consultants and ask, "What's wrong?" Do you know what they said? Oily, sensitive skin. So finally, after 5 products, I had something that worked. But I ran out, and then we started using True Energy, and I tried it one time, and I realized my face was tighter. Actually like shinier and brighter, and so that's what made me want to actually try this. So what I have are lines around my eyes, and
Okay.
lines under my eyes.
Oh, mhm.
My eyes are obviously aging first. And I also
Okay,
have creases. I sleep on the right side of my face. So I
right.
have a crease here, and a crease here, and a crease here from sleeping on the side. And then I get very dry skin underneath my chin because I get chin hairs, and my skin is starting to,
Mhm.
I'm losing my jawline at my
Right.
age. It's starting to I don't even like my profile anymore.
Right. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So, well, first of all, you're a very beautiful woman. So I wanted to make sure that sometimes we really micro, examine our face and I just wanted to, we're going to kind of pick it apart a little bit. So I wanted to let you know that I think you're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and start with, your skin and your skin texture.
Okay.
So, one of the most important things that a lot of people don't take into consideration is an exfoliant. And it's kind of interesting because sometimes people will say, should I get an exfoliant or should I get, a toner? Well, absolutely the exfoliant. And this is why. If you are leaving dead skin on the surface of your skin as it sloughs off, what happens is you don't get product penetration and you can get that really dull, dull look, as well as it's where all kind of the dirt sits underneath that layer. So it really builds up. So, what kind of product do you actually see changes in the first time you use it? And right. And so the
Yeah.
reason why that happens is because the exfoliant that we use actually has enzymes in it and jojoba beads. And the jojoba beads are perfectly round esters. So unlike other exfoliants, you actually can use that around the sensitive areas like your nose and under your eyes and on the side of your temples and for sure your forehead and so on. But these are areas that people tend to avoid with the exfoliants because they're so harsh and they scratch. So making sure that you can get that dead layer off is really kind of the key first part.
So even under your sensitive under eye area, you can use the exfoliant?
You can use the exfoliant pretty close to the eye because it has beads. I tend to tell people not too close to the eyes. I don't want you to get, any beads in your eye, but you can definitely use it, right on that lower part of that eyelid. And because when you start using the daily cleanser that has those natural fruit enzymes or acids, those also help to break that tough bond of the dead skin. So, and is that some of the areas that you've started to notice some changes is more in the texture of your skin? Or now that you've used the True Energy skincare once, when you start to use it on a daily basis, the daily cleanser as well as the scrub, Probably 2 times a week. Some people can afford to do it 3, but I would say 2 times a week for your skin type. You'll start to notice that that dead skin comes off, and you'll get better product penetration. It will even your skin. Making sure that when you do use your daily cleanser, one of the kind of tricks that I've noticed that you can use to find out where your rough areas are is when you're using that daily cleanser, it's got a nice slip to it. And so when you're using that on your face, notice under your fingertips any rough areas.
Oh, really?
Those rough areas are an indication that there's some dead skin cells there.
So that would definitely be under my chin where it gets dry.
Okay, perfect, right. And that's an area that people tend to miss as well. And so kind of like when you go to the dentist and they put that red stuff in your mouth after you brushed your teeth, they show you the areas that you're missing. So it's not like use the exfoliant more, it's just be very aware of where your areas are. So yes, under your skin, under your chin, and then the areas that you set across your forehead. Okay?
Okay. And that applies to, so do you think as someone with oily skin, I get more dead skin, or is that penetrating through the oil?
Well, it absolutely penetrates through the oil. One of the things that you want to, in just generally speaking, one of the things that you want in a daily cleanser is something that does not dry and strip your skin. Why take the oils off of your skin? If you're fortunate enough to have oily skin, which really kind of helps the, slow the dry aging process of your skin, then you want to leave that oil on. So essentially the True Energy daily cleanser has a nice emulsion to it that keeps your skin from drying out. So it will penetrate, and it will penetrate through the surface of your skin. It's a matter of more getting the dead layers off.
Okay.
The oil is more just kind of the nature of the cells in your skin itself. So product penetration, dry versus oily, is not so much the factor. It's dead skin on the surface of the face.
And what causes the dead skin? Is it just, like you said, we're in the sun? Do you think I have to do it more because I'm in the sun? Or just 2 times a week is okay for anybody?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And 2 times a week really is enough. On occasion 3, but 2 times a week is really enough. And this is why, is we have a natural sloughing of our skin. It's how our organs do it. Every part of our body does it. It's just that our skin is exposed to a lot of external things in our environment. So what happens is that we have a natural process of the new cells developing at the deeper layer of the dermis or the skin. And as they come to the surface, our older layers die off. That's, that happens internally and externally. So the harshness of our environment can certainly make the outside layers of the skin dry up a little bit faster, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to use the exfoliant more often. The 2 times, maybe 3 times a week is plenty. And then really when you're using the exfoliant, maybe even doing something like counting to 30, 30 seconds while you're using it so that you're actually using it long enough and getting into those creases here, the creases in front of the ear, and then under the chin and that neck as well.
And I would have to say, when I tried the scrub, are you talking about the cleanser or the scrub with the exfoliant? The
exfoliant, that's a good question. So the exfoliant is the deep purifying facial scrub.
Yes.
That's this one.
Yeah, I noticed the first time I used it that my skin felt incredible after. Like it literally lifted after just one use. And that's probably what sold me is I loved the scrub so much.
You're not the first to say that. It's definitely one of the favorites. Yeah. Good. It definitely gets that, that nice refreshed feeling. And all of my products have components that help to tighten and whiten. So, and whiten's kind of a funny term, but it really just means even the skin tone. Mm-hmm. So you get that nice tight feeling.
And what I noticed, it didn't dry my skin because some of the over-counter products do. I feel like I've stripped my skin and clearing those dead skin cells. I've stripped them, but I did not feel that way. I just felt fresh.
Right. So that's exactly was my intention with that. And that's why I use those jojoba beet esters. The esters are actually, they don't scrape the skin. They actually dissolve in the water as you use them. So they're not you know, it's not like using like a Brillo pad on your face,
Yeah.
you know? So good. Excellent. All right. So let's move on to some of the areas where you were talking about that you had some concerns. You were talking about your jawline. Okay. And show me again some of the areas, the crow's feet
Yeah, crow's feet.
and the lines.
Yeah, underneath here, the lines. And then I have a wrinkle here from sleeping that
Okay.
basically goes down my face this way.
Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. So this is the thing about resilience and our space and what our skin should be doing. When we smile, we get creases, right? So you smile and you get these beautiful crease lines that people know, like you don't have this ton of Botox and you're not, you know, stagnant here and smiling only for your mouth. It's part of how we read each other and we read sincerity, and you know, those lines in the face are beautiful. But if your skin is low on elastin and dropping in collagen, those lines tend to stay there. So, you know, I'm close to 60 and I definitely have lots of smile lines when my, you know, when my face has expression. But when I stop smiling, you can see those, you know, those lines go away. So that's the resilience of the skin. That's the elastin and the collagen. So that's what the True Energy skincare line as a whole really helps to build on that cellular level. It helps to build the elastin and the collagen, and the clinical that Dr. Pugliese did, where he was really, really impressed with the rate of collagen production that the body started to show that, you know, on these women's face, is because normally it takes, you know, 2 to 3 months to show some changes in that, in the elastin and collagen, where, you know, those creases that tend to stay, or you can see when someone's older and they've been out in the sun a lot, what people say looks kind of leathery.
Yes.
So, right. So that's
have that in Florida.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of you know, playing tennis in the middle of the day. So that actually is part of what will you know, what will happen as you use the skincare as well as using the wand. So that combination with using the daily skincare and the wand, and we'll go into how the wand helps, that really helps to change that baseline elasticity in your face that creates that resilient, plump, youthful look. Okay.
So we really don't want to take the happiness of our face, is what you're saying. Is leave your happy lines there, but when you're resting face, you don't want to see the wrinkles and the lines. But it's okay to smile and have a bright face. But
that's right.
Like what you were saying, you can see them when you smile, but you don't want to take that away, the natural beauty of it. But you do want to keep your face young.
Right, exactly. And so the elastin, you know, when a child, you know, or a young adult smiles, they have lots of creases. You can see the lines of expression. But when they're at rest, like you said, when their face is at rest, it has that nice, youthful, toned, plump look.
And doesn't the collagen decrease in production when you're older? When does that hit? Am I in that age group right now? And that's why I'm seeing the results?
You are in that age group. In fact, really 30 is when everything starts kind of ramping up to leveling, and then about 30 it starts to ramp down a little bit. And the ramping down is that, you know, it's our body not keeping up, and if we're not feeding the cells, the skin, what it needs, then yes, that's exactly why that aging process starts.
I have a question. So I've noticed some people use that rotating sponge thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How would you compare your products to that?
Okay, so you could use that with the daily cleanser if it's a preference. It could be a little bit stripping. Sometimes it's just, you know, people enjoy using it because it feels good. I strongly not recommend to not use it with the exfoliant. And I actually tested that. And I think what happens is when you use it with the exfoliant, the beads tend to go into the brush, and you're not getting the action of those nice ester beads with a facial scrub. So I don't use it. It's not my preference, but if you can use it with the daily cleanser, but definitely not with the scrub.
Okay. And what helps produce, what's in your products that actually helps boost the collagen? You mentioned the wand will help that, but what's actually going to help form
Okay.
collagen?
Okay. Well, so it's the day cream, which is a beautiful protective therapeutic day cream. The night cream, which is it's an intensifying, hydrating, very penetrating cream.
Can I say just a moment? I put on the overnight cream, and again, I do not like heavy creams on my face because I have oil, but usually the overnight creams are a heavier cream because you're going to let it soak in all night long. I did not feel like I was having like a layer of gunk over my face as I slept. This was a beautiful, perfect, even for my oily skin, it was perfect.
That's great, because that probably would have been one of the biggest, worries for you, knowing you have oily skin, to just feel like you're putting more oil on your face.
Yeah.
So the product penetration is the biggest part that is significant with the line. The serum is a pure serum. It's just pure repair product. There's no creams or anything in that. You'll find it's just, no scent, super silky serum. The day and the night, the overnight, have what's called oleosome technology. And the oleosome technology is a process of actually storing a nutrients inside of a seed, if you will, so that when you put it on, it penetrates and the seed opens and allows the product to actually penetrate the cells in the skin. So it's very much like, I like to garden. So it's very much the same as where you can take a packet of seeds, and even if they're organic, put them away for the winter and pull them out the next year and plant them in soil. And as long as that soil has the environment that supports it, then that seed then opens up, that germ is able to actually grow into a plant. It's the same concept with that oleosome technology. Is I want the perfect environment for nutrients to be able to penetrate the skin. So that's why you get that nice deep penetration regardless of your skin type. And that's the beauty of it, is that your skin uses what it needs, whether it's dry or oily, because everybody really has a very mixed skin texture. Even if you have oily skin, sometimes there's an area that's dry. Even if you have really dry skin, sometimes there's an area that's oily. So it really does work for all aspects of your skin, so that you don't have to put different products on different parts of your skin.
So I think I derailed you about answering about collagen, and then I have another question about the serum.
Okay. So go ahead with you had a question about the collagen?
Well, the serum, I've noticed some people that I follow on social media, they will not use creams. They just use their serum, and they say, serums only, forget your moisturizer. Right. Why would you advise against that?
Okay. So serums are fantastic. Serums are all about concentrated ingredients that help to repair the cells. They don't have the hydrating factor of the cream. So for example, in the serum, it has concentrated bioengineered hyaluronic acid, all natural hyaluronic acid, as well as it has restorative antioxidants, CoQ10, and a vitamin cocktail to help to give your skin the nourishment that it needs. So what it doesn't have that's in these products is it doesn't have the oils that help to actually oils is maybe a confusing word. Maybe the word that I should be using is it has the hydrating factor that a lot of creams actually carry. So for example, as we talked about, both of them have that cell delivery, the oleosome technology that helps to deliver that hydration. And then in each of the creams are very specific products that are hydrating due to the different oils or consistencies or nutrition that's in those. So serum is great. but you need to make sure that you're getting the rest of the nutrients that your body needs, that your skin needs. Does it make sense?
It sure does. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So you want to tell me how I use this thing, the wand?
Yes. So this is also this is where we're really going to talk about your jawline, as well as even that line that you're talking about that goes down your face, because this line that goes down your face, part of that is also the tendency for our muscles to fall. And what that has to do with is the two factors. One, it's when we lose elasticity of the skin, we're losing elasticity of the muscles, things tend to fall, right? So the other factor that a lot of people don't consider is that the difference between the muscles of the face and the muscles of the body is that the muscles of the body move bones. The muscles of the face are really just used for expression, for chewing, for forming words in our mouth. We use a lot of muscles on our face, and they're habitual, meaning that we use them over and over and over again. It's also why, sometimes my mom has that same line where people will say, I'm starting to look like my mom. That really has to do with expression. Like, I definitely notice my mom makes this really tight expression that really causes a lot of lines right here. So I pay extra attention with my wand when I am using that, as well as I've got really strong muscles in this corrugator area, because I'm kind of an intense person, right? So I pay lots of extra attention to the muscle right here. So what it is that some muscles contract and pull the skin, and they start habitually learning that. And so there's nothing to counter it. So what the wand does is it helps to counter those muscles that are tight from contracting in those patterns. So the muscles that tend to get tight are the muscles of the neck, the muscles of the chin, the muscles that actually pull down on the face, and the muscles in the forehead that actually tighten it, as well as these corrugator muscles right between the eyebrows. So really, the only muscles that really majorly suffer from the drag down of all of that, is those cheeks, where we want those little apples under our cheek. So when we use the wand, we first go through the lymphatic drainage part. The lymphatic drainage is that downward direction. That's hugely important for making sure that you get rid of all those toxins that are showing up on your skin as, acne or bloating or puffiness or dark under the eyes. The lymphatic drainage is a huge part of that, and do not skip. And
you actually say to start down here under your collarbone in a clockwise direction. I always get confused when I'm on myself, which way is clockwise, but why do you do it down here when you're on your face? Is that because your lymph drains this way through here and this opens it up?
Yeah, so excellent. So what that is that we have different portals in our lymphatic system. And those portals are areas that tend to be like what people call lymph nodes, under our jawline. Well, a huge lymph node that drains for our entire face is just at that collarbone. And that collarbone is where those nodes gather for all of the drainage in our face. And there are nodes that go all the way along the jawline and a little bit along the collarbone. So when you're using the wand, you're going in a clockwise direction, and this is how I do it, so that I know I'm going in the right direction. So you have a clock right behind you too. So you follow the clock, right? You follow the clock, and then as you're moving in that direction, you follow the clock, right? So it seems like when you're looking at it, it seems like it's counter, but really it's like taking a clock on your hand, right? Which is easier to kind of draw it on your hand, because then you can keep turning. Now keep turning your hand while yeah, that's good. So that's the fun part. So then you're drawing a clock on your hand, you move your hand out of the way, and you're doing, draining those portals right there. Okay. And so what that does is that opens it up. That opens up the area so that when you do start draining, this area is nice and open and follows through with that.
Is that what causes the puffiness in the eyes in the morning? Is the lymphatic system? Yes,
absolutely. Because what happens is when we sleep, we detox. That's the biggest part about why sleeping is so important, is because it helps you to detox, as well as your brain detox when you sleep as well. So yes, puffy in the morning is, you know, all of the toxins that tend to build up from sleeping, you know, on one side more than another side, right? And then by doing the drainage, you're really allowing that to move. And most people who tend to have really puffy faces really see a major difference with that. Sometimes it looks like they've lost, I mean, I've seen women who look like they've lost 50 to 75 pounds just from draining the toxins on their face.
So sometimes I've watched your videos and you go down sometimes and you go up sometimes. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? I know you say lymphatic drainage, but then you go up. So is it really step by step that important?
Okay, good question. So the step by step is important in this. The step by step, the important factor is there downward for drainage. So down, drain first, and then lengthening second, as you're moving up your face, and you're essentially just moving up your face, lengthening the muscles that are contracted and lifting the muscles that are sagging, or, you know, that underlying tissue that's sagging. So truly the down is lymphatic drainage and the up is either lengthening or lifting. Okay. So sometimes what I'll do as far as, you know, hitting a particular area, especially for me, like I was saying, this is a really tight area, I'll go up and down. And it's more like I'm massaging that muscle more than, you know, more than anything is really kind of getting that muscle to loosen up. Same thing with my spot right here is I might go back and forth on that one to loosen that muscle. But ultimately, what's really important is lymphatic drainage down is very gentle. That's why I hold my wand like super light between my fingers, is because you don't want to drag the skin down. If you actually see dragging, you're actually causing what's called collagenase enzyme that breaks down collagen. We don't want to break down collagen, right?
No.
Right? This is what we're trying to build. So when you go down, it is super, super, super gentle. The lymphatic system is very superficial. It definitely responds really nicely to that gentle downward motion. Okay. When you're going up, you can definitely afford a lot more, you know, pressure where you can actually see the skin lifting up.
And so you're mentioning you have spots on your forehead. Well, my mother always purses her lips. Mm-hmm. So my sister, who is actually younger than I am, but looks older than I do, she has pursed lips. And so I've noticed mine, those lip lines. So can I do across, like vibrate across my lips then too, to break that up when I'm doing the collagen part?
Beautiful thinking. Beautiful thinking. That's exactly right. You know, that smoker's lines, you know, from pursing is a lot of times habitual and we don't even know it. You know, drinking out of straws all day long, it's habitual. So beautiful. That's an area where you might go back and forth, and yep, exactly. And you notice those lumps when you do that? You can feel the lumps?
Yes, I can feel the lumps.
A little tender too, right?
Right there.
Yes, that's a tight spot. That's a, you know, a contracted muscle. So as you use the product, you'll, you know, really, as you use the wand, what will happen is that you'll notice those tender spots go away, because it's like massaging a muscle, right?
Well, it's sort of like giving yourself a face massage then.
That's right. That's right. And we're using acupressure points. We're hitting a lot of acupressure points. So you're stimulating the energy of those acupuncture meridians as well. So that massage is hugely beneficial.
So do they affect other parts of your body then? Because acupuncture is often, you know, one point affects another part. So are we hitting those points and we're going to feel healthy all over, or in different places? Or is it just to the face? Limited.
Okay, great. So I haven't done that clinical study yet, so I'm going to keep it a little bit more conservative on that. But I absolutely have had people say that they just feel better all the way around. And there's a couple of factors to that. One is that when we look in the mirror and we like what we see and we go, oh, I don't need to put on makeup today, and you walk out the door, that energy really kind of exuberates from your body, and it's a fantastic feeling, and people respond to it nicely. The other is that when you're using the wand and you're hitting acupressure points on the face, there's multiple acupuncture meridians that either start or end on the face and head. that do cover the entire body. So if you're stimulating an acupuncture meridian, no matter where you stimulate it, you're going to give it energy. And because we have different energy in this wand and we have magnets in the wand, it actually helps to really stimulate those meridians and affect your whole body as well.
So how do those magnets work?
Okay. All right. So you'll actually notice I have a, hold on one second. You'll actually notice that, I know, right?
I'm looking for some in my little desk in front of me. I want to try. I can't find it. Oh, here's, wait, here's one. Okay, this is not staged. Look at that. Yep, I have one too.
Yeah, one too. Okay, so those magnets actually interact with your energy, as well as I've imprinted the wand, as well as the little bead that's in each of the components with different frequencies. And those frequencies are designed to enhance the entire process. So what happens is that when you contact your face with that and you've got that product on your face, it really is designed to do exactly what it does, which gives results that are way beyond expectations. Dr. Pugliese, when he did the study, he called me halfway through and he goes, I don't know how you're doing it, but the results you're getting are amazing. These women look like they've had mini face, you know, little mini, mini makeovers at the 2 weeks. At the 2 weeks, he was saying these women look like they've had makeovers. And by the end of the 4 weeks, he was saying mini facelifts. So it really does have a big bang for what looks like just a little magic wand.
It sure does. I mean, you call it a magic wand, but there really is magic inside of it. If you can do that, if those magnets and frequencies work like that, it's amazing.
Yes, yeah. Well, and if you think of it this way, our body is made up of frequencies, and our body resonates at different frequencies. We either have positive resonating frequencies or negative frequencies. Kind of like, if I can get a little bit more, you know, more esoteric, kind of like if you walk into a room and you can just tell the energy of the room, you know, you could tell that there's like low energy in the room. You can see it on people's faces. You can feel that energy. That's because we are energy beings. And so we're sensitive to energy. So when you have something that seems like, you know, how can a little thing like this make a big difference? It's because it resonates at the frequencies that are healing and healthy and energetic. And it helps to bring up your healthy, healing, and energetic. And that, you know, those good energy vibes, the good vibes. So it makes a big difference.
We can tell you've been using it because you've got a lot of good energy.
Yeah.
So show me how I really need to focus on my jawline and underneath here. And I want to ask too, so everybody has something unique in their face that they want to correct. Should they avoid overcorrecting? So let's say in every process, you know, every night we're going to do this. What about doing it extra longer? Is that going to make any difference? Or so
yeah.
No.
We do. You can't really overdo it. You know, I think you might get tired before you overdo it. But we definitely all have our weak areas. You know, we all have one weak side, more one side than the other. And so, you know, being able to focus on those areas make a huge difference. So doing it twice or a little bit longer on each one of those areas is perfect. So for you, on that jawline, we're not just talking about the lengthening part. The lengthening part is really important because you want to make sure that for that jawline, when you're coming up in that step where you're going from the collarbone up underneath the jawline. Now see how you're using your wand more like a point. On these, use the edge of it where you get a little bit more surface area. So you see how I'm holding my wand?
Okay, I think I have to talk to show. So basically I was doing it like this and Cathy corrected and said more like this. So I get more surface area. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. So this, yes, that's right.
Okay.
The one thing, Cheryl, is you're holding your wand like this.
Oh.
It's going to get a little awkward when you go back. Flip it in your hand.
Okay,
Right.
I'll try it this way then.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I'm
So
gonna try it this way.
oh, I
So
see how you do
you're
that.
gonna go across your body then, like that.
Yes. So, and something that's really important here as well is because these muscles are really tight in the back of the neck, you want to start pretty low and come up, yeah, exactly, where you're putting some good pressure and making sure that you're starting all the way down and going all the way up underneath that, under that jawline.
So starting at the base of my neck, like right
Yep.
here,
Yep,
all the way
exactly.
up to underneath my ear
And
and
then
underneath my jawline, like that.
exactly, exactly. And so when you're up under that jawline, put a little pressure under there because you'll find that the tighter you are, it might be a little bit tender, but it starts to really lengthen and loosen those muscles. And then be careful that of right in front of your throat so you don't hurt your,
Adam's apple.
yes, exactly. Yep, and then really get up underneath there.
So almost stretch your
That's
head up a
exactly
little
right.
bit.
That's exactly right. Yep. And those muscles wrap right around the face, just like this, from the neck up and wrap. So when you, yeah, so when you're getting up underneath there, you're helping to lengthen the attachments as well.
Okay, so get
Good
up
job.
underneath my chin. Be
Yep.
careful in front.
Yep. Be careful in the front.
Okay.
So the next part that's going to make a difference on here is the muscles that wrap over the jawline. When you're doing the lymphatic that goes from the center of the chin back like this, make sure you can do extra there to loosen that muscle.
So I should be doing this first, in reality, this lymphatic drainage this way?
You know what? Let me actually go back. Let's cut that section out. Let's cut that section out because that it's confusing to go backwards. So so now that you've lengthened, Cheryl, we want to make sure that we lengthen the muscles underneath the lip, between the lip and the chin, as well as the ones that we talked about a little bit earlier. So loosening the ones under your lip, it's kind of like a fan. This muscle fans out like this and can really pull down on those cheeks as well.
Okay, so these muscles here, it's like it could be a puppet. You have that puppet chin where it just comes out. So you're saying come up over your bottom of your chin to the bottom of your lip?
So this is actually, do you have a booklet?
I do. Where is it? It's over here. Hold on.
Let me grab one as well.
Just out of arm's reach.
So Cheryl, now that you've finished the lengthening part, that's step 7 in the protocol, you're going to move to step 8. Okay. So
I have I'm looking at the booklet here. So I finished step 7 and I'm going to go to step 8.
Correct. Okay. In step 8, so you've finished 7, you're moving to 8. 8 is all of those areas that are tight below the lip and between the chin and the lip. And so those are the ones that you really want to kind of loosen up those muscles as well. And these
muscles around the mouth and below are going to help my chin as well, as you're saying, to loosen these then?
Yes. So what happens when we age is that chin kind of turns up and it actually pulls on the neck as well. Okay. And then also making sure that you're doing like you were saying, your family tends to have the pursing lips with the lines. So making sure that you're getting a little bit extra on that. So that's an area that you would do a little bit longer. Okay,
so I'm just going to show I am doing my upper lip so I don't look like my mother in this respect. And these down.
Funny how actually people do say that. I just don't want to look like my mother, but not to say, mom, but sometimes, our moms at our age have spent a lot of time in the sun because when I was younger, that was the thing to do, was put on baby oil and go out into the sun. So we did a lot of damage. And so this generation, your age and younger, are saying, I just don't want skin like my mom. So understandable.
Well, I do want to ask you about sunscreen after we're done with this, because that's important here in Florida and around the world, because every other product has sunscreen in it. And by the time you're done, you've got 4 layers of sunscreen on your face. But let's finish this first.
Lots of opinions about that. So we'll go to that one for sure. We just did a blog on that one, right?
Right.
Okay. So So in step 9, you're coming around and you're lifting the corners of your mouth, and hold for a couple of seconds at the end of that, Cheryl, just to kind of get your body the energy. So hold, perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna go around the corner of my mouth and hold, almost quite, is it underneath your nostril or what is this, your cupid's bow?
Yeah, you're starting in the center below, in the right, like in the divot. Yep, right there. You're wrapping around one side of your mouth and coming on the outside edge of it and coming up just right there, just before. So you're actually going to be a little lower where that smoker's lip is. Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're wrapping up. And honestly, I've had people do every step slightly different and the results are still the same. And I think that's the energy component is that, you know, even if you do it slightly different than what we're talking about, you're still going to get results. It does not need perfection.
And that's what I was going to say, this tool is so powerful. You don't have to worry about perfection. As long as you're doing it and getting pretty close, you're gonna see results.
Right, correct. So here's another area that's going to be important for you as far as the lines in the one that your sleep lines, I'll say.
I don't know what else to call them except my sleep line.
In step 10, you may want to do the right side of your face twice, and when you do the left side of your face once. So that would kind of gives an extra boost to that area. So that's what I tend to do. I have a little bit weaker side. I tend to do my weaker side first, my other side second, and then I go back and I do my weaker side again.
And this is where you lift up and you actually hold, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep, exactly. And holding for the 10 seconds is really important with this part, because it's the 10 seconds that allows that, you know, that energy to really penetrate and retrain. And as I'm watching you do this, I'm actually seeing your face lift, even just from what you're doing.
I'm really glad to hear that. And I wasn't even holding for the 10 seconds, and now
Right.
I'm trying to hold for the 10 seconds. But I can see it too. It does look like it's lifting. It's amazing.
Right.
Do it all the way back here too?
Yeah, so the areas that I show on the video are, and I'm going to do the lines of it with the wand so that you can really see that. From the corner of the nose, directly under the eye, from the lip to the under the eye. That's 2. The third one is to the outside corner of the eye. The fourth one is more to the cheekbone, right here. And then the last one is actually in front of the ear, sliding up to the temple.
Okay, so I'm going to try. I'm going to do my other side since.
So your first one needs to actually be, because this is the apple part. Yep. So the first one is actually right along the side of the corner of the nose and holding up just to the inside.
I'm going to try to go right here.
And holding right there. And I can see your skin a little bit tight. It's, you know, as you, yeah. Okay. So what I see on your skin when you do that is I could tell how long you've been doing the protocol or not. Because what happens is when we haven't been doing the protocol, like if this is, you know, if you're brand new and this is the first time or the second time or the third time you're using the protocol, what happens is when you're going up, the skin actually pops down, like it pulls down, just like a muscle with its muscle memory. When you go up, it pulls down. As you start to retrain your muscles, you actually can get up underneath that skin right there, that chunk, and hold it up. It's really hard to do that when it's pulling against you.
So yeah, I can notice that my face looked different than yours. So you're saying when I'm pulling it up, I need to hold it sort of underneath there.
Yes.
You're saying? But because I have not been doing it, it's like it's not looking the same as yours. I could just feel it. I went over it. It popped underneath.
That's right. So go back
and get
up underneath it and hold. And it might take a few times initially, but as you start using it and you start to get that cheek really pop up, you'll really start to have, you know, see, oh, I can hold it now, as opposed to it keeps slipping out.
Yes, I can definitely feel that muscle right there is tight and I need to hold it because just a centimeter or 2 above, it flips underneath.
That's right.
So that's amazing.
Right. So it doesn't make a difference. If it pops down, don't worry about coming, you know, go back and get back underneath it, you know, and if it pops down, go back and get up underneath it. So the first few times you're doing that, it might look, Oh, okay, great. I got it. It might look more like that, right?
Yes, that's a really good point. Is that give it a couple tries to actually get up under that muscle. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, it feels tight. This side
Yeah,
must
lift
be a
it.
little easier, but this side definitely feels tight.
That lift it. Yep.
Yeah.
Good, good. And so, and then your area right here where you're having the wrinkles from the sleeping, making sure you're using your skincare product, you're going to be going over that point when you do under the eyes and the eyelid, and you'll be hitting those points with the energy of the wand, which is great. Those areas you'll really see a difference with the skincare product too.